So, putting on a dog harness. First thing is, you always make sure your harness is not tangled. Okay, and at the end of a run, often harnesses get pulled inside out. So when you're finished your dog sled, you always make sure your harnesses are pulled correctly, and you bring them in, you make sure they're nice and dry. So you put the harness upside down on your arm. This is the breast part. So you stick your harness through your arm, and you have the breast part on your palm. Now usually I do it afterwards because I have two dogs in the box here, so I just want to get one. Stay. Come here, Linus. Up. You stay there. There you go. Okay. And what you do is, you go over the dog's head, and you grab his nose. And then you just pull it over his nose, like that. And bada bing, bada boom. Make sure his collar's free, arms are in. You want the harness to go almost to the tailbone. You want it to go about to here. Yeah. And I tell you right now, okay, there's basically two kind of harnesses. There's freight harnesses. I don't have one with me now. And there's this kind of harness. And if you have any other kind of harness, if it has a buckle or an adjustment or Velcro or something, you don't get that stuff. That's not good. And also, people say, why harnesses have a lot of cushioning and everything? You want a bit of padding so the strap's a little wider, but you don't want a bunch of cushioning because it's going to be hot. It's going to insulate the dog. And the dog already has fur attacked like a cushion. So beware of gadgets. Keep it simple. If the fancy harnesses worked, you'd see the racers using them. Now, what I just put on is called a racing harness. Excuse me. The long distance guys, they have different harnesses. If you're a long distance racer, you're not listening to this channel. You know what I'm talking about. This is a freighting harness. So this is in the back of the dog, and the rest is typical. What this does is that it keeps the dog centered. The dog never pulls from the side. Made for large breed dogs. Like if your dog weighs over 100 pounds, better with a freighting harness, because it's hard on the hips, eh? And those large dogs always, like or not, they're carrying 100 pounds. They always have hip problems as they get older. So dog pulls straight. You can pull, right with the chest instead of with the back legs. So it keeps it nice and centered. If you have a dog that's made like a freighting dog, like a Malamute, or maybe even a Canadian Inuit dog, okay, well this might be your kind of harness. So if you have a Newfoundlander, okay, something like that. But what you have to remember is it's not because they say you have a freighting dog that you have a freighting dog. If you have a freighting dog, it's a dog from working stock. It's like, if I want a hunting dog, I say go buy a lab. Yeah, well, there's a lot of labs that don't hunt, and a lot of labs that cannot hunt because it's been bred out of them. They've been bred for having a nice blocky head, or they've been bred for helping people that can't see, or there's selective genetics. So it's just not because somebody says, or it says in the book that it's a freighting dog, that it's a freighting dog. You have to have the working stock. I've seen lots of dogs that are supposed to be this, it's supposed to be that, and it's just not in them. So freighting harness, very specialized. I've only had one dog that I needed it for, and I've had Malamutes, and I've had I've had a lot of dogs. And just because I got this harness, because it was for my big white dog, because he always pulled from the side, and he was actually wearing out his fur. So once I got this, he was able to pull better.